Monster Jam fans, welcome to Anaheim, California. We are here at Angel Stadium, and we are ready for some awesome action here at the beginning of the 2020 season of Monster Jam. We have a lot of amazing competitors out here today that you're not going to want to miss the opportunity to see drive. This is the beginning of Stadium Tour Red. We have seen some awesome action since the last full season of Monster Jam. But coming out of the track first, we have Becky McDonough and El Toro Loco. All credit to videos will be in the description, like always here in first quarter. It is an opportunity for all of you to get your videos in. If you're going to these shows and you want to be featured on my channel, make sure you take footage of the whole show, upload it to YouTube. If you want to send it to me, and then I will gladly use it as long as it is solid quality, and I will obviously be giving you credit. And obviously, if you post the whole show, then you're the only one getting credit. Next up, coming on to the track, representing Team Monster Energy. He is hoping to win this tour. He is one of the best drivers in all of the sport. It is Todd the Duke in Monster Energy. This guy's quite the screamer. I guess we've figured out already. Hey, look, you can be passionate all you want. Trust me, I'd be this excited if I were going to the first show of the year, too. These drivers are going to be competing on Stadium Tour Red all season long, leading up to the Monster Jam World Finals. And these drivers are all in for an incredible matchup. But next up, coming onto the floor, it is time for the two-time World Finals champion. He is known as Mr. Scream and Mr. Excitement. It's Jim Kohler in Avenger. He's on the track, and man, this is a stacked field of trucks. Let's meet your full field once everyone comes on, because there's a lot of other great drivers that we're not even getting to see right here, right now. Yeah! Next up, coming onto the track, representing his father's branding, it is the man representing the Gravedigger Monster Jam team. It is Adam Anderson in Gravedigger. These Anaheim fans are in for a treat today. Stadium Tour Red is ready to kick off with some steam. The only videos I did not get footage of was one race in racing. I, for some reason, just could not find that anywhere, and about half of the skills challenge, which is kind of disappointing. But we did get all the important runs in for the skills challenge, which is good. But we are ready. These drivers are getting ready to come plowing into the stadium. But before that, as always, we have the very pumping up video that is on the screen. We are so stoked for this amazing season of Monster Jam. 2020 is already underway in Monster Jam. We had an arena tour the weekend before this, and man, this is just going to be an amazing season. We've got 3 stadium tours that'll be competing all season long, head-to-head, trying to see who will, first of all, provide the best tour and who's going to win all 3. We've got this tour, the Stadium Tour Red, that you'll be seeing on Friday nights whenever it happens. Then on Saturday nights, you'll be seeing Stadium Tour Green. That'll be the primetime show. And then on Sunday, you'll be seeing Stadium Tour Yellow once that begins. It's going to be a packed house of commentaries all year long. We are trying to get as much in, especially because MonsterJam.com got rid of results that have scores, so I have no idea who's coming in what position, so I can't really go by that system anymore, so I'm just going to show the whole show. But, Monster Jam fans from around the world, you are here witnessing the very first show of 2020 in a stadium, and Monster Jam, are you ready? Because Monster Jam fans, Anaheim, this is Monster Jam! Onto the track now comes everybody. We have Bryce Kenny in the Great Clips Mohawk Warrior, John Zimmer in Dragon, Lindsey Wink in the Lucas Oil Crusader, Jamie Garner in Overboard, Cole Venard in the Black Pearl, Michael Viders Jr. in Overkill Evolution, Brad Allen in Monster Mutt Rottweiler, Brian Wright in Hooked, Darren Basil in Black Stallion, and Steve Sims in Stone Crusher. Quite the electrifying field out here today in Anaheim. This Stadium Tour Red has been deemed by many as the best and most intense tour that we will be seeing all year long. So what a better way to start off this year of commentaries than with this tour out here in Anaheim. This is one of many Anaheim shows that we will obviously be seeing throughout the year. You see so many Anaheim shows throughout the regular season, which is to be expected because obviously they want to cram in as many as they can before the baseball season starts. This is an opportunity for all of these drivers to get off to a good start this year. You want to get as many points as possible, and these guys are all going to be fighting for their first points of the season, and you want to get off to a hot start. The winner of racing typically always has an upper hand right away at the beginning of the season because they will have the most points going into the rest of the competition. So, moving into racing. This is going to be pretty awesome. We've got a great racing track out here, and it's just plain Chicago-style racing. I'm sorry, not Chicago. Plain St. Louis-style racing like we saw last year, all of the year. We basically were seeing the same track as we saw all of 2019, but that's okay. That's just Stadium Tour Red. We have two different tracks for the other two Stadium Tours that you're definitely not going to want to miss out on. And you're going to have to wait till tomorrow night to see Stadium Tour Green, and you're going to have to wait till February, well, the second week of February, to find out what that Stadium Tour Yellow track will be looking like in person. This first race of the night features two drivers who are independents that have had racing success somewhat over their career. This is a rematch of round 3 of the World Finals in 2017. In the far lane, it'll be Michael Viders Jr. in Overkill Evolution, and in the near lane, it'll be Jim Kohler in Avenger. Jim Kohler won that aforementioned World Finals race from 2017. Put him in the semifinal round against Son of a Digger, in which he sadly took a loss there. Jim Kohler, the man he lost to, would go on to win that competition. So I'm sure he doesn't feel too bad about that. But this is the first race of the year here in the stadium. This is an opportunity for a great start off to the season. Two drivers that are not known for their racing going head-to-head here in the first race of the year. They go down that long straightaway, which will definitely be a big determinant in who wins the race. And your winner is Jim Kohler in Avenger. A good win for Jim Kohler, starting off his season right. Next up here, meeting up in round number 1 in the far lane will be Jamie Garner and Overboard taking on Lindsey Wink in the Lucas Oil Crusader. Lindsey Wink for the second straight season getting that last-minute call to be a driver in 2020. He's going up against one of the top Indy racers in all of the sport. And they're close to the finish line, but your winner is Jamie Garner and Overboard, knocking Lindsey Wink down in just round number 1. The next race here in round number 1 is another matchup of independents, where in the far lane we'll have Brian Wright in Hooked taking on Brad Allen in the Monster Mutt Rottweiler. Two solid Indy drivers, again, not known for their racing, so this should be a close race. Brad Allen seems to have this track down a little bit. He's going very nicely into the turn. A great turn for Brad Allen, but can Brian Wright pull it away? But he cannot, as your winner is Brad Allen in the Monster Mutt Rottweiler. He went very wide in that last turn, but he was very smooth. That helped him out get this win. The next race here in round number 1 in the far lane will be Cole Venard in the Black Pearl taking on Steve Sims in Stone Crusher. Steve Sims, a longtime veteran of the sport. He's been driving since around 2007. Cole Venard has only been driving since 2016. And the newer driver is going to walk away with a win today. Cole Venard and the Black Pearl is moving on to round number 2. We have 2 more races here in round number 1. The first of those 2 will be Becky McDonough in El Toro Loco taking on Bryce Kenny in the Great Clips Mohawk Warrior. 2 drivers who competed in last year's World Finals. my, Becky McDonough is rolling over with a great save. But that's not going to win you a race here tonight, as Bryce Kenny's going to go away with a win here in round number 1. Becky's going to try and cross the line that way. And she will cross the line, even though it'll also add a 5-second penalty. Pretty crazy move there, as Becky McDonough will find herself in the loser's circle after round number 1 with 1 race to go. The next race in round number 1 will be the last race in this first round. In the far lane, it'll be Adam Anderson in Gravedigger, as he will try to continue some of his Anaheim success. He's always had some good luck in Anaheim. And in the near lane, it's a man who's been driving in the sport for over a decade. He is representing Black Stallion today. It's Darren Basil. Now, last year, I made a funny prediction in the first show of the year in Anaheim, where I said that Cynthia Gauthier this year might be the first female champion. That ended up working out. And I also said that Jimmy Cretin in Bounty Hunter, this could be his first year winning his long-awaited racing championship, in which he did that as well. So I got to make some predictions here today. As Adam Anderson crosses the finish line first, I'm going to have to make very bold predictions. I don't know. It's going to have to come. I got to be on top of my game here. Week number 1. Got to be ready for it. But Adam Anderson moving on to round number 2, which is where we find ourselves right now. And here in round number 2, we have Todd the Duke going up against Jim Kohler. Todd the Duke has not won racing championships in 2015. You never know. This year could possibly be Todd's year to finally get that championship. He's had a lot of bad luck in the last few years in the racing competition. So maybe this year will be LeDuc's year. He's off to a good start, but you never know. This could be very, very interesting how that year will play out. But again, the next race is the one that I couldn't find any video of. It's Overboard versus Monster Mode Rottweiler. Overboard won that race and is moving on to the semis. We're back here in round number 2 as Black Pearl is taking on Dragon. Very close race to the finish, and wow, what a close finish. 2 great racers, but I think Cole Vennard got that one, and yes, he did. Cole Vennard taking down John Zimmer. A big win there for Cole Vennard, knocking down John Zimmer, who went undefeated in the first 2 racing competitions of the year last year. Obviously very big for him to be knocked down here in just round number 2. Next up, we have Adam Anderson and Gravedigger taking on Bryce Kenny in the Great Clips Mohawk Warrior. These two have always had a lot of fun on tour with each other. They're back on tour together this year. Going into the final turn, looking close. But, oh my, a close finish. Oh, and they come together and flip over together at the end of the race. Just like the bozos they are, as always. Adam Anderson and Bryce Kenny somehow always manage to be the ones to mess up in Anaheim. And here they go again. They find themselves on their lids next to each other after the race. Bryce Kenny won that race. Question is, can he return in the next round? That was a very close finish as well. That was a crazy race right there. Next up here in the racing competition, we're in the semifinals now. It's time for Monster Energy versus Overboard. Todd the Duke is hoping to have some competition wins this year. He really was lacking in competition wins last year, which is why he ended up coming in 12th in the top 50 drivers of the year. Hopefully he could turn that around. Oh my, but Jamie Garner and Overboard, oh, they collide. Oh my goodness. What is happening today? They come together after the race. Jamie Garner beats out Todd the Duke here in the semifinals, and he's going to the final round. And the next race here in this semifinal round, we'll see who goes up against Jamie Garner. It's either going to be Adam Anderson and Gravedigger, who's coming back after Bryce Kenny can't return, or it'll be Cole Vennard in the Black Pearl, which is Jamie Garner's teammate. So this is going to make for a really, really awesome final round regardless. But This is even more interesting because we have Adam Anderson, who used to drive Gravedigger the Legend, taking on Cole Bernard, who used to be Adam Anderson's crew chief, going head-to-head here in the very first show of the year in the semifinals. So things are just so interesting right now. The camera's focusing on Gravedigger. I'm not surprised, but Black Pearl is not going down without a fight, going over the finish line there, dead even, but Cole Bernard and the Black Pearl crew chief taking down Driver. That'll bring us to the final round of racing, which will be the two Overboard teammates. It is Jamie Garner and Overboard taking on Cole Bernard and the Black Pearl. This is going to be an awesome race here just in the first show of the year. They're going to the finish line dead even. And crossing the line first will be Jamie Garner and Overboard, winning the very first competition of the year. A big win for Jamie Garner as he pulls together the first racing win of the year and the first 14 points on the road to the overall event championship. But before we get into the skills challenge, we obviously are going to take some looking here at the pit party footage. I mean, we've got a lot of awesome action that takes place at the Monster Jam pit party. If you have not made your way out to a pit party, you better be getting yourself a ticket for the next time a show comes into town, because it is obviously an amazing way to start off your day at a Monster Jam event. You get to meet the drivers, get up and close with the trucks, and even take pictures with the drivers and get their autographs. It's something that you won't find in any other sport. If you haven't been to a Monster Jam pit party, you better make sure that you are getting your tickets for the next show out. But without further ado, let's get into this skills challenge. Again, this is only going to be half of the field. We could not find any footage for the other half. Starting us off will be Overkill Evolution. This is Michael Vaughters walking a stoppie off of that little bump. Walking it back up, a really solid first hit. A good way to start off today. So in this new skills challenge, they have two options. They could do either two-wheel skills hits or do one donut, and they are both scored the same. Let's see what Michael Vaughters has for hit number 2 here in the Overkill Evolution. He's rocking a new chassis, so obviously there are going to be some issues with it, but he's seemingly having a solid two-wheel skills run right now, or skills run, I apologize. He's walking another stoppie down the track, a very awesome move. Michael Vaughters going for the throat right now with a really great run. I'll have to wait and see. Obviously, I don't know any of the scores because MonsterJam.com got rid of scores. So I have no idea what's happening. I'm in the dark. I can't find that out anywhere. So we're just going to have to look at, because it shows the winner, I'll just know who the winner is, and I'll point that out afterwards, because again, they decided to get rid of scores for some reason. Next up here, it is time for Lindsey Wink in the Lucas Oil Crusader. I don't know what he's going for here. Can't really see him because he's pinned up against this wall. All we can see is the top of a truck and a bunch of people not paying attention to the show. Welcome to Anaheim. So, this is an opportunity for Lindsey Wink to get a solid score to start off the year. He's going for a bicycle. Oh yeah, a really great bicycle. And he's walking down the track. Solid move for hit number 1. This is a great start off to the skills challenge. 3 really good hits already. I'm intrigued to see what new moves drivers will have come up with for this 2020 season. Obviously, whenever you're starting a new year, you're going to have a new trick up your sleeve that you want to try out at some point. The question is, when will you pull the trigger on it and how well will you do so? I love how they still have VP Racing Fuels ads up there. That's really funny. Getting a nice sky wheelie that he goes into a slap wheelie. He's walking and getting close to the pad. Oh my! And he's a little bit on the sidewalls too. A solid move. 2 really good hits for Lindsey Wink and the Lucas Oil Crusader. Next up, she flipped over in racing and is able to come back out for the skills challenge. It is Becky McDonough in El Toro Loco. Lining up for that little bump next to the backflip ramp. That is the classical spot for the backflip in Anaheim. I don't know why. I don't know why they don't ever put it anywhere else, but that's the most random spot for it, but it works, I guess. And on the front two wheels, and a crazy move for Becky McDonough. Almost lost it, but throttled out of that truck, flipping over, and was able to save it. So far, Becky McDonough holds the first 2 saves of the year from racing and two-wheel skills. Sorry, skills. I have to get used to saying that. I really do. Going for a bicycle, and oh, that's not what she wanted to do right there. So that's going to be a disappointing end to her skills challenge. Sadly, can't get the second hit to follow up her good first hit. Next up in this competition will be Jim Kohler in Avenger. Jim Kohler, always a promising driver, but last year did not have really any success at all. A very disappointing year in 2019 for Jim Kohler. He's hoping he can bounce back this year. I thought he was going to have a new body style for 2020, but he did not. Lining up for the jammer. Oh my, that's not a good first hit. So that's going to cost him big time. So Jim Kohler lining up for hit number 2. That first hit will probably eliminate all possibility of him winning this competition unless he does an amazing move. Going for a sky wheelie and a really crazy move that he's walking a wheelie on top of the pod. And he's going to walk it all the way across. Pretty good second move. If I had to pick, though, I think Mike Botters Jr. definitely should be in the hot seat right now. Jim Kohler probably in about 3rd or 4th. Next up in this competition, it is time for John Zimmer in Dragon. Back to the green Dragon that to be honest, I like the blue Dragon better. As does John Zimmer. I asked him himself. He said, yeah, I like the blue better. I don't know why we can't just have a blue Dragon, but hey, it's classic. He goes for a little reverse popper. Does not work out very well, so another disappointing first hit out here in the skills challenge. Oh, he's cheating. He's going for a donut. That's not how that works, John. Oh, I think his engine stalled anyway, so that's the end of that. That'll bring up Monster Energy. This is Todd LeDuc. As I mentioned, Todd LeDuc hoping for a really good year this year. Todd LeDuc is pretty solid at two-wheel skills, and he's got a great chance at doing something good today. But not an amazing first hit. Todd LeDuc is a very amazing driver. You know that any hit he puts down in two-wheel skills, he can definitely match that with an even better one. And he's trying to do that right now with a good bicycle here in this competition. But will it be good enough to take the lead? Next up in this skills challenge is Colvin Art of the Black Pearl. Colvin Art made it to the final round of racing, so if he could have a good move here, it'll put him in a good position in terms of the overall. Going for a bicycle, and oh no, another disappointing hit in the skills challenge. Hopefully he can back that up with a solid second hit.
Attempting that bicycle, second place in Monster Jam Racing. What's he got in store next?
What does the Black Pearl have for us now? This is also the last video of the video, just of the skills challenge. This is your last run that we'll be seeing. A solid sky wheelie. He can't quite get the kick out of it. Oh man, that's disappointing. Your winner of the skills challenge is Jim Kohler in Avenger, with a very disappointing first hit and a good second hit. I'm surprised that he was able to walk away with that win, but the Anaheim fans voted it, and well, once the fans vote it, you can't change it. So Jim Kohler is your winner And that will bring us into the freestyle competition. But again, taking some look at some B-roll footage here just to give us a little bit of something to talk about in between the competitions. Don't want to go directly in. Again, back with the pit party. I've been to so many pit parties over my lifetime. And it is honestly just an amazing experience. You have to get out to a pit party at some point. The trucks are all shined up. They're ready to go. You get to meet the drivers. Instead of just calling them Dragon, you can call them John Zimmer, which is what a lot of people do. They don't really know the names of the drivers. This is a great way to connect. I mean, if you really want to get into the sport and you want to get involved, you got to go out to a pit party, as these people did here. Sophia and Michael Vlogs took their kid out to the pit party, and I'm sure it was an experience he'll never forget. But we move into the freestyle competition today, the most exciting competition of the night. We do have all 13 runs here. Jamie Garner and Overboard sadly cannot continue. He broke in the skills challenge. Next up, this competition will start off with Darren Basil and the Black Stallion. Black Stallion starting off his run with the backside of that racing lane. It's always exciting. Your first freestyle of the year is always fun. Getting some nice air, a good hit right off the bat.
I don't think he's running on all 8.
Yeah, it definitely sounds like there's a couple missing. Yeah, you see, it's not even running on full power.
It actually is probably running on full power. It's just a different exhaust. They just don't realize that, but that's okay. For people who haven't been watching the sport for long enough, it's okay for people to assume that. Solid hit there. Darren Basil, a guy who used to be a solid driver in stadiums. Don't get me wrong, he would put down some really good shows, but I think the truck's broken. His rear steer's broke.
He's alright.
But that truck is screwed.
Oh my, a really cool move. A sky wheelie off of the racing ramp. That was pretty awesome.
He didn't break the steering, it looks like it.
Oh man, okay, I guess the steering corrected itself somehow right there. Another nice hit.
Oh my god.
This is a chance for Darren Basil to start off his year well. He seems to have stalled.
Yeah, it died. Hey, well,
So the clock's been paused. Hopefully he can refire. We want to see if Darren Basil can refire this Monster Jam truck and finish his run tonight. And he is refired, but it does seem like he's just pulling off the track.
Send it. Steve Sims.
Next up in this freestyle competition is Steve Sims in Stone Crusher. And a huge leap right off the bat. Oh no, but his rear right wheel breaks off, and that is going to be the end of his run. Also, there's a new rule in Monster Jam that if you flip over or break within the first 30 seconds, you get a 0 in your freestyle, which will really kill your overall point standings. The third truck out in this freestyle competition is Lindsey Wink and the Lucas Oil Crusader.
He might do a
He has a chance for redemption here. Didn't get a two-wheel skills win. And another nice hit off the racing lane. Lindsey Wink is known for his big air. This is a guy who's going to fly high in his freestyle if given the opportunity. And another really nice hit. Lindsey Wink is, again, like I said, a guy who's going to get big air. He's on the side, and he saves it. Wink was one of the top drivers in the World Finals in World Finals 20. He ended up putting down one of the top 5 freestyles of the night. Had some incredible air, a backflip, 2 backflips actually. And just an overall really good run. One of his best in freestyle action in the World Finals. Lindsey Wink's always been a guy who's had some great success in the first quarter. Then when he gets to the World Finals, something just goes away. Lining up for the Monster Energy backflip ramp. He hits it and he over-rotates it a little bit too much and ends on his lid. That'll be the end of Lindsey Wink's night. Coming up next in freestyle is the man who won the skills challenge. It is Mr. Excitement, Jim Kohler and Avenger. Looking to rock out for these Anaheim fans in the very first show of the year. You might remember back in 2018 when he had an amazing move to start off the year in Anaheim. He went from a backflip, nosedived into a wheelie with a popped tire. It was honestly one of the best moves of that entire year, and still maybe even a top 50 move of all time. A really, really crazy move, and Jim Kohler's hoping to come out here and do the same again today. He won that freestyle. He's already won skills today, so maybe he could take home freestyle yet again. And he's going for his first hit, put 120 up on the clock. But the Monster Jam people deciding to make that 30-second rule was mainly in response to the All-Star Challenge and what happened with Cynthia Gauthier and Jim Kohler. Basically, if you go for that and you break, you're done. You get a 0. They don't want anybody winning on a one-hit wonder anymore, which I guess it's a good thing. It does take away a little bit of the problem with JudgesZone.com, but as we've seen today, there's still so much wrong with JudgesZone.com that it just overall would be smarter to get rid of it. It was a great idea at the start, but the amount of flaws that have come out of it so far are just really, it's way too much for a system that you know you could just change and do better. He's having a solid run so far. Oh my, a little slap wheelie action. He's got 52 seconds on the clock. Maybe time to go for some big air for Jim Kohler. He likes to turn it on at any given moment. And another nice cross thread there. It's nice to see people doing cross threads. I mean, we don't see it all too often, so whenever a driver does that, it's pretty cool. It's just crossing over everything. He's comboing things up, getting big air. They also didn't do anything to the backside of that racing lane, so you can't really use that as a jump, which kind of stinks. Oh my, lining up for the center jump, getting some nice air as he leaps over that step up.
I think he's gonna go.
Doesn't have much time left. He's going for the jammer, huge air. He's on the sidewalls. He's spinning on the sidewalls. Can he save it? Oh my goodness. Oh no, he can't. The truck is on its lid. But a crazy sidewall donut right there. Could not quite get the save though. But I'd have to believe that would come close, if not take the lead. Coming out next in this freestyle competition is Brian Wright in Hooked. He's got a chance to take the lead away from whoever's in the hot seat. Getting some solid air right at the start. This is Brian Wright's second straight year driving this Hook truck in the first quarter competitions, because 2 years ago they had him drive El Toro Loco. I mean, once you see drivers driving felled bodies during the regular season, I mean, it makes you think that they're going to go back to it. Oh no, Brian Wright is going over! And that's going to be the end of his run as well. Another truck down way too early tonight in freestyle. Next up in the freestyle competition is Brad Allen in Monster Mud Rottweiler. This is a truck that fits Brad Allen and his chassis so well. I mean, honestly, if you could pick any truck for a driver, this is one of the best pairings I think I could ever pick, because it fits him so well. It's a great truck for Brad, and he really does a great job behind the wheel. Last year, he drove the El Toro Loco truck, but I think, honestly, he had more success in 2018 in this Rottweiler truck. He had a lot of really great moments in that first quarter, getting some big air. Oh my, a little bit cattywampus, and he's able to save it. But he drove that El Toro Loco truck last year, did not have much success. He became a mini flip guy. He was doing a lot of mini flips last year, but the year before, he was doing a lot of backflips. Huge air, the biggest air of the night, coming out of the Rottweiler. I think he popped a tire on that landing, though. It looked like something popped. Yeah, he did. He popped that back left wheel, the tire. So he's got to maneuver around that, especially because he's pinned in a bad corner over there, but he's able to get away from it. And they're letting him still run with a pop tire. I got to give him a lot of props for that. That's really great. We don't normally see drivers being allowed to drive around with pop tires anymore.
The dog is limping. Got a broken leg. Come on, keep going, man. Keep going.
He's putting together a solid run right now. Brad Allen in this Rottweiler. Like I said, I don't know what it is, but whenever he's in this Roddy truck, he just puts on a great show. Doesn't have tons of time left. He's in a sub 30 now in his freestyle.
Come on, do it.
I don't know what he's doing. Is he lining up for the backflip ramp with a pop tire? He's pulling a Jim Kohler. Hits the backflip, does not get the momentum for it, and he lands on his lid. He's turtled. So that is the end of the Rottweilers freestyle. A really good run, though. Brad Allen did a great job coming out here throwing down a freestyle with a broken truck. But next up, it is time for the Crazy Bull. It is Becky McDonough in El Toro Loco. This truck has quite a few battle scars. She flipped over in racing, was able to save it there, and then flipped over in the skills challenge as well. Knocked off the front of that truck, blowing the smoke out of the nose. Well, it was the nose at one point. That truck just does a lot of damage already. Hopefully they can get that fixed up for next show. Some solid air right off the bat in this freestyle as the windshield comes apart. Lining up for that racing lane to get some solid air as well. If I had to pick a driver to be in the hot seat right now, it would probably be Brad Allen. He had a very solid run all around and went for that backflip ramp with a pop tire. I think that was a very good move. She's having a solid start to her season, though. I mean, she didn't have much success in racing, but flipped over and had a nice save. That was a pretty skilled save that she did. And then in skills, had another 2 solid hits there. So she's off to a pretty good start. If she could put together a good freestyle here, she might even find herself on top of the overall event championship. Huge air. We'll take a look at the point standings at the end of this video. If you want to check out my top 5 drivers of the week, you can see the top 5 arena and stadium drivers in the weekly wrap-ups. That's where I'll be doing those. And then in the end of the commentaries is when I will have the updated point standings. And at the end of the weekend, like let's say on Sunday, if I have a commentary, then that's when I'll have that I'll have the arenas. Lining up for the backflip ramp. Can she land it? She can, the first driver of the night to land the backflip ramp, so 9.8, here we go. But still, here comes Becky McDonough now. She's got a little bit of time left in her run, an opportunity for her to really put the nail in the coffin for a good freestyle. So far, been an underwhelming run except for that backflip. Oh my, huge air, finishing her run with a bang, going over, crushes in that front end. And another time that El Toro Loco finds itself destroyed at the end of this night. But Becky McDonough and El Toro Loco with the best run of the night so far, with a great finish to her freestyle and night here in Anaheim. Next up here in freestyle, it is Bryce Kenny in the Great Clips Mohawk Warrior. He comes out. He could not compete in the skills challenge. Neither did Adam Anderson, so they are both coming back and will compete in freestyle. Hopefully he can get himself a good run as the Mohawk is tilted to the side. This truck is just so dirty after racing. He stuffed that thing into the dirt. And some nice air.
Yeah!
Bryce Kenny in the Great Clips Mohawk Warrior was a competitor in the World Finals and All-Star Challenge last year. Hoping for another solid year this year, but he didn't really have as good of a year last year as he could have. 2018 was definitely a better time for Bryce Kenny, and this year is starting off kind of disappointing as well. Didn't even get to compete in skills and racing. Well, he flipped over with his good buddy Adam Anderson in hand.
Let's go! Oh my
Some
God.
nice air, though he definitely is launching this truck a little bit in freestyle. He's battling the truck as well. I mean, the body, the fiberglass is getting in his view. A lot of air tonight. That is going to be a theme for these baseball stadium tracks. That's what we normally will see in these tracks. Maybe Bryce will even get to go for a backflip.
That's what I thought too.
And another nice hit. He's had some really good air. If he goes for a backflip and lands it, we definitely have our run of the night so far. He's having the best run to the backflip ramp so far. He has not had the backflip quite yet. But still, I think this has been the best run from start to finish to this point. He's had some better air than anybody else. And another really nice leap. He's getting some good air. Bryce Kenny is not messing around right away at the beginning of the year.
Backflip! Backflip!
Oh, he's lining up for that backflip ramp. Can he get it? Yes, he can. He lands the backflip. And Bryce Kenny with another nice hit. And a really great run from Bryce Kenny. He's got enough time for one more move. And he's going to get it with a nice leap. I guess he might have time for another. Let's go for it. That'll be the last move of the run. Some big air, and Bryce Kenny going over. And that'll be the end of the run. And I think after that run, that was our best run of the night so far. Some huge air, a crazy backflip, and that should be your new leader. Next up in freestyle, it is John Zimmer in Dragon. That's something I didn't think about is my voice is starting to get a little bit of hoarse in it because I haven't done a commentary in like a month. So my voice has to get used to it again, but it'll be pretty used to it, I think. He's starting his freestyle off with a donut. Let's get it, John Zimmer. A great start and a different start. Oh, wow. Look at that hang time. I'm surprised he didn't break anything on the truck. That was a crazy leap. Oh, my, again. John Zimmer. Oh, gosh, he's going over. Can he save it? Oh, my goodness. Oh, a great run to that point. I don't know if he might have gotten just a little bit over that 30-second mark, but sadly flipping over a little too early in that run. But a good run, though, for John Zimmer. Next up is the Black Pearl. This is Colvinard. He's had himself a solid day. Skills was not as good as it could have been. I'm just going to have to keep correcting myself. I got to get it right. Skills was not as good as it could have been, and racing was pretty good, though. Got himself into the final round. And now Colvinard and the Black Pearl is looking to do just that here tonight and get a final great send-off. So I've got to believe Bryce Kenny's in the hot seat right now. He has the best run of the night so far. Colvinard is looking to take the lead. Black Pearl off of the racing lane. Colvinard is obviously an amazing freestyler. He's never going to leave anything on the track. Oh my, a little bit of a weird kick there. And another nice hit. So Colvinard in the Black Pearl, his first freestyle of the year. This is his third year driving this Black Pearl Monster Jam truck. 2 years ago in Tampa. Didn't have the best of debuts, but he did land the first backflip of the year, which is pretty cool. Going for that jammer. That was a good move there, too. It's funny because you could tell when they're hitting the jammer because they're hitting the jump way before you expect them to.
Oh, boy.
Oh, my. He's in the side of that ramp, but he's able to save it. Here in the home of the Los Angeles Angels, Angel Stadium will always put together some awesome runs throughout the year. And Colvinard and the Black Pearl hoping to just continue some of that.
Backflip, come on! Backflip!
He's lining up for the backflip ramp, the Monster Energy backflip ramp here in Anaheim. And he lands it nicely. He could have popped a moonwalk out of that too.
It's just a fender, he's fine.
Doesn't have much time left. He's got to really put together a good finish to this run, as he could definitely take the lead away from, I'm assuming, Bryce Kenny. He's got one hit left and a nice leap there, and that'll be the end of his time. I don't know if that's good enough to take the lead away from Bryce Kenny. Bryce Kenny definitely has the best run of the night so far, and And I just think that Cole Vennard is not. That was a good run, but that's probably good enough to put him in second place ahead of Becky McDonough. This is all my standings. I have no idea what's actually going on. I mean, I do, but I don't. I do, but I don't in quotes. You know what I mean? It's not a blind commentary. I know everything that's happened. I literally watched the live stream as it happened, but I've got to be professional, so I have to just go at it, assuming I don't know what's happening. But Cole Vennard and the Black Pearl, a really good run there, and that was pretty solid. Coming up next in this freestyle competition is Mikey Vauders Jr. in Overkill Evolution. He's had himself a interesting day. Got knocked out round 1 in racing, but had a really good two-wheel run. Arguably the best two-wheel run of the entire night. I mean, I'm telling you that I watched most of two-wheel, and it was definitely the best run. And he's off to some nice air.
Sounds like it's not even on.
Yeah.
Oh boy, he almost flipped it over, but he's able to save it. Again, anytime you see a driver in a new chassis, you know that they have to break that thing in week 1.
Working?
So that's what he's doing out here. He's just trying to break in this new chassis, figure out how it's working. Another solid move.
They are quiet.
Come on, send it. Be like your dad. Come on.
His dad? His dad's not driving. What? I guess this guy knows Monster Jam? I don't know. I'm confused. He's getting some nice air, though, cross-threading.
Come on, send it, man. Send it. Oh, that didn't sound good. The trick sounded like it's
So this guy is really, he's having a good run so far. Mikey Vauders Jr. is, I mean, I guess you can call him a veteran in the sport at this point. He's been driving since like 2014. I mean, when you're driving for 5 years, you're basically a veteran in today's day and age. So, I mean, I guess you could say that.
It's smoking.
Oh boy, a little crooked move there. But Mikey Vauders not going to leave anything on the track either. He built this new truck because he wants to have a really good year. Last year was a disappointment for him. Didn't get in the World Finals. Didn't really get any He didn't really get any notice anywhere last year. The best move he had was, I don't remember where it was from. It was from Texas. It was, I think, San Antonio, but it was probably Arlington, knowing me. But it was, I think it was San Antonio, where he almost did a complete front flip, where he nose dived in, or I'm sorry, midair backflip. That was really his only good move of the year.
Maybe.
I mean, yes, he had some solid two-wheel skills runs, but he's just hoping to have a good year this year, bouncing back from last year and getting himself back on the map with some nice air. Hasn't gone for a backflip yet. Mikey Vauders has always got to go for the backflip, so I'm going to assume he will at some point. Getting some nice air. Time is up. That does not count towards your scoring. He's not going to go for the backflip. Just wanted to break in that new chassis this week. But a good run from Mikey Vauders Jr. I don't think that'll take the lead, but still a solid run from Overkill. There are not many trucks left to freestyle. And next up in this competition will be Todd the Duke in Monster Energy. And to follow him, it'll be Adam Anderson in Gravedigger. And Todd the Duke is off with some nice air.
Come on.
Todd the Duke is coming for broke. He's already made one hit. He's wasting a lot of time going around the track right now. Doesn't he realize the time started? Get another nice hit there. So far, he's just looking around for hits at the beginning of this run. Solid air. Todd the Duke is known for throwing together crazy freestyles, but I mean, I've talked about it a lot in the past kind of half of the year. I think him driving Mutant and him driving Monster Energy are like two different drivers. I mean, seriously, when he would drive that Mutant truck, he would get some massive air. That was in 2018. He got some huge air. I mean, you remember that season. That was one of his best years he's ever had. So that was a crazy year for him, and then he drives Monster Energy. He's a little bit more focused on putting together a good run instead of just getting massive air. So I don't know. I don't know if it's conscientious. If, like, Mutant said you've got to drive this way and he really doesn't want to, or if Monster Energy's telling him to drive this way and he doesn't really want to, I don't know.
Jump that into the crowd.
Oh my God, no.
He's seeming to have, transmission issues. Transmission's starting to stall. Oh my, he's getting, whoa! Very crooked, and he pops a tire. Oh my goodness.
There
Another driver getting to drive on a pop tire. Oh my! Todd LeDuc is throwing this truck around like a rag doll. Gonna give a love tap to his buddy Lindsey Wink. He's throwing it in reverse. Oh my goodness, he's hitting the jump in reverse. Todd LeDuc. His transmission's passing away. Yeah, that transmission died. That was a really good run, but I don't think that was good enough for the lead. Maybe second or third, but a crazy run, a broken truck, and a fun freestyle. You got to change things up when you got a broken truck. That's just what Todd LeDuc did. That was pretty awesome. Last, but not least, it is Adam Anderson in Gravedigger.
Throw your kid down.
The last truck out.
Lights out.
Saving the best for last. Bad to the bone. It is the Gravedigger Monster Jam truck. Adam Anderson is always going to be someone to watch. At Anaheim, this is his typical Anaheim runs. Or he has a great run with amazing air and does not land a backflip. It'll be by far the best run of the night, but because he doesn't get a backflip, the Anaheim fans give him like a 7. That's his typical Anaheim freestyle, where he definitely is the best run of the night. Let's see if that continues. He's got some huge air already right off the bat. Based on my guess, I think your best run of the night still has to be Bryce Kenny in the Great Clips Mohawk Warrior. That was a really great run. Then I'd have to go down and say Todd LeDuc is second, Colvin Art is third, and Becky McDonough is fourth.
Yeah! Just trying to break it.
And then probably Brad Allen fifth, Lindsey Wink sixth, Jim Kohler seventh, just based on eyeballing it. Going for a slap wheelie right there. Beautiful tail dragger on that puppy. Oh my goodness, he's still walking it down the track. Gosh, he just walked that across the floor. That was an insane move from Adam Anderson. And another nice hit. This Gravedigger's taking a beating today. Flipped over in racing, didn't get to compete in skills, and now he's out here freestyling, trying to put an end to this Gravedigger's truck. And oh my, the biggest air of the night! Gravedigger is soaring through the Anaheim sky. And some more big air cross-threading over the center of the track. And absolutely phenomenal freestyles so far from Gravedigger. Adam Anderson is tearing it up right now. These Anaheim fans are getting the show because Adam Anderson is putting it on. Can he save it? Oh my, he's on the sidewalls. And that'll be the end of the run. A really great run from Adam Anderson and Gravedigger, but overall, I don't think that was good enough. I'd have to put that in second. I think Bryce Kenny had your best run of the night. But let's look at the video board, see what's going on, see who's about to win freestyle. This is the last time you could judge in the night. I'm guessing Bryce Kenny is your leader. He definitely had the best run. Adam Anderson had a good run right there, but I don't really know if it can take the lead. That was a crazy move there at the end.
With 47 career freestyle championships, can he make it?
If he just held the brakes, didn't do anything, he probably would have saved it right there, which is too bad.
Adam Anderson and Gravedigger, when you're ready to head to the video.
So let's look up at the video board. Your score to beat's a 9.67 from El Toro Loco. Okay, that's interesting. Your score for Gravedigger's a 9.211, which will put him in third. I said second or third, so that was accurate. But your winner tonight is Becky McDonough and El Toro Loco. That came out of nowhere. I don't think that was the best run of the night, but the fans judged, the fans decided. They didn't necessarily decide correctly, but still a good show tonight. A great time out here in Anaheim.
Good job, Becky!
So as we take a look at the overall point standings for the show, Jim Kohler in Avenger is your overall event champion, and, well, that means he's your tour leader right now. After one show, Jim Kohler in Avenger is leading Stadium Tour Red. That came out of nowhere. He had a great day winning two-wheel skills. He got knocked out in round 2 of racing, and he was able to he came in second place in freestyle, but a good show overall. Really great time. The upcoming commentary list, I mean, it's going to be filled with 2020 shows from now on. As you can see, we're not even getting a month in the future, but still, we've got a lot of stuff coming up. Tomorrow, you can catch Tampa from Stadium Tour Green from last weekend. That'll be a lot of fun. And then next weekend, we have San Antonio and St. Louis, and then we'll have Houston, Anaheim, then Tampa, Glendale, and then San Diego will be that weekend as well. So, a lot of stuff coming up. It's going to be a great year, but thank you everybody for watching, and we'll see you all next time.
Tell me pretty lies, look me in the face. Tell me that you love me, even if it's fake.